Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with another Battle Brothers video. In fact, this is going to be the first in a new Let's Play, You Asked and You Shall Receive, on the last, what do you call it, the last sort of DLC spotlight video I did for the Warriors of the North. We played as the what is it, like lone wolf start, where you start out with a single elite character and kind of go out from there. And on that video I got a ton of requests for a full let's play of that scenario, so I figured what the hell, we'll go ahead and do it. I'll have to figure out where this is going to sort of slot in with everything else, because I probably have too much going at this point. But there are some things that are doing not as well as I would like, and so I might just post them a little bit less frequently, like once a week rather than twice, and this can kind of take over in that role or something. So anyways, let's jump into a new campaign here. We're going to do the Lone Wolf start. I have played a little bit more of this on my own time, and I do find it quite difficult. It's actually not that hard to stay alive from what I've seen, but I've noticed that anybody I hire pretty much dies right away, because the Lone Wolf themselves is such an elite character that the enemies kind of all flock to whoever else is in your party, which in this case is not very many people. It's often like one or two, and they tend to get overwhelmed really easily because the enemies all avoid the knight that you start with. Let's see, what do we want to call this company? Let's choose a standard first. I usually like to work backward from there. That's kind of cool. Maybe that. I don't think I've ever used this one, to be honest. Let's use this one. We'll call it the Company of the Bear. Not super original, but it'll work. And what do we want to go up against? My current playthrough for Beasts and Exploration DLC is the War Crisis, so let's do something other than that. We can do greenskins or we can do undead. Let's do undead, why not? So we'll do veteran difficulty. I might do beginner economic difficulty. I guess we'll see. No, I'm not new to the game though. I've been playing this game since, I've been covering this game since the early access release, so I'm sure I can manage. Starting funds high. That I do like to keep up, because it's just, the game can be such a grind at the beginning. And it makes it more interesting, I think, for a Let's Play if you can get into sort of the meat of the campaign a little bit sooner. Okay. Alright, the Lone Wolf. I've read this before, so I'll skip it this time. We start out in Donnersberg. Let's get an idea of the map layout here. So there's 3 factions. We have the... well, let's actually look at their names. Not that I ever remember. So, House Rosenving is where we are now. In the northwest. Then we have, was that Coda to the east? I didn't mean to hit camp there. Oh, sorry, no. That was Parawinger to the northeast, and then Goda in the south. Well, we don't need to choose a side or anything like that, because we're doing the greenskin start, or excuse me, the undead crisis. So we can kind of just roam around wherever, but let's hit this town here before we go anywhere else. And I'd like to put some of my crowns toward hiring like maybe one other fairly, they don't need to be elite, but another like competent person to roll with us here. Like 1,000 crowns for a dude with a spear. I don't know that I like that. Werner's a little bit cheaper. He looks to be better in a fight as well, although this guy does have a couple level ups, but his skills look like they might be pretty decent given that daily wage, and he's already got like fairly decent armor, so we would just need to get him like a shield and maybe something for his head. So I think Werner will join us. He's a bastard. Okay, I mean that's pretty suitable. We do need to be a little bit more picky than I generally am. Well, I mean maybe not early on, but again we can only have 12 people in our party, so everybody who's in that party needs to be able to hold their own and fight and deploy at all times, because if we only get 12 and we can only deploy 12, we need to have everybody ready to go. So Werner, I think you're in. And Gisbert is kind of tempting because he looks like he's actually a pretty solid fighter. He just has no gear to speak of, and so we'd have to outfit him. Maybe I should wait though, because I have like no money to do that with. So I think we'll just take these two for now. Ruthart the Lone Wolf. Let's get you leveled up. I think I'll go with a 4 right here, a 5 there, and a 4 here. For the next one, I think I'll go in on fatigue again, resolve again, and this time I'll do some melee defense. And we get 1 more. So I'm wondering if I should have taken a 4 up there. Let's do 4, 4, and 3 again. Now then, I'm gonna go with a pretty optimized build here, just because this is kind of a harder playthrough, and so normally I do things a little bit less min-maxy, just because I don't find min-maxing to be all that enjoyable, but in this case, you know, we're desperate to survive, so I think I need to play things fairly smart. In that case, I'm going to do the sort of standard Frontliner build, which is Colossus, Dodge, Relentless. And the idea here is, you know, Colossus gives you a ton of hit points so you can soak more hits. Dodge is going to add your initiative, which in this case is actually very poor, so I don't even know if that's worth doing now that I look at it. But anyways, this adds 15% of your initiative to your melee and range defense, so it gives you some free defense, which is especially useful if you have a character who's not using a shield, which he wouldn't be given his two-handed weapon. Then what Relentless does is it effectively halves the deterioration of your initiative over the course of battle, because as you get more and more fatigue, your initiative decreases alongside it, basically. So for every like point of fatigue you gain, I think you lose a point of initiative, and so this effectively halves that. So it keeps your initiative up to help preserve that defensive bonus. But in this case, he doesn't really have any initiative to speak of, so I don't know that that's a good idea. One thing I think I will do is, since if he dies, that's game over, I'm going to give him 9 lives. Just to kind of give myself a chance to get bailed out of that. And then I'm wondering if it's worth going in on Dodge, just because his initiative is so bad. I could do like Brawny and give him a bunch more fatigue. Now, I'm already going on optimal, but again, I don't think optimal works in this case, so let's do Brawny. That'll free up 12 stamina points so that he can attack a little bit more frequently, which, given our small numbers, will be very important. So before we leave, let's hit the marketplace and see if we can't find like a real cheap headgear option for him. I'll buy the least expensive one. And was there like a really inexpensive shield? Yeah, I'm like already broke, but gotta do what you gotta do. So why don't you throw that on and grab that. I'm not a huge fan of the weapon he's carrying, but we're just gonna have to kind of deal with it because I can't afford anything different right now. We can't find any work here, so we'll need to choose a direction. It looks like Horn is nearest, so why don't we kind of go around the Horn, if you will, and see if there's any work in these places. These don't have walls, right? Yeah, so these are all open. They should all have work. And then once we're done here, we can either kind of swing back around or maybe look at heading south. Oh, but they do have work for us. Cool. 440. Sure. What are we doing? Drive off barbarians at Barbarian Hideaway. I'll accept. Don't really have much of an option. I think we can handle this, though. It's only 1 skull, and 440 crowns isn't a lot, so generally that means that we have a fairly reasonable fight on our hands. Some Barbarian Thralls. So, if you're not familiar with the new factions added by the DLC, the Barbarian Thralls are like the bandit thugs of the Barbarian Raiders. They're as bad as you can get for that faction. They're really, really terrible. And some generally indicates like 4 to 6. So, we will be outnumbered pretty considerably, but again, they're going to be pretty trash characters. Alright, so when they come, conveniently the game has graced us with some high ground, so we will do our best to hold it. Where do we want to set up, though? They could just go right around us. So, like, if I try to... Well, I could hop down there and engage them. If I do that, I can attack him, and it'll take him a turn to switch weapons. They could surround us here. So that's something to keep in mind. Because there is still 2 spots open, even though this is blocking one of them. Let's have you wait. I'm going to have Ruthard do that instead. Because if he's going to be, if anybody's going to be surrounded, it should be him. His armor is going to be, you know, pretty resilient against their attacks versus this one, not so much. And I guess I'll set Warner up right there. And let's see what they decide to do. I really don't like these antler weapons. I feel like they're so overpowered. They seem to cause bleed damage more consistently than any weapon I've seen in the game so far. So even more so than like cleavers and things of that nature. They are just devastating when they land. Let's see if we can get both of these. Nice. That worked out pretty well. Okay, he's gonna pump up his adrenaline. That is one nice thing about fighting barbarians, is they tend to do that quite often, even in situations where it doesn't necessarily benefit them to do it. Werner, hop over here and maybe we'll do that next turn. Let's just go for an attack. I might try to knock him onto the low ground and then capitalize on that terrain advantage. I need Ruthard to kill these guys quickly. Oh great, they stunned him. So much for that. Right. Protect yourself because you are going to get flanked. And just keep chipping away at their health. Oh, I guess they're more concerned with him. Suppose that makes sense. Why would he fight on even footing when he can take advantage of that? It looks like you're not stunned anymore. That's good. Can we get a kill? Oh, I didn't mean to drag the camera. Whoops. Let's see. 89. Yeah. Nice. It didn't really affect their morale, though. I was hoping we could maybe break some people with that kill. But no such luck. I'll take that one, and... I'm not sure what I should do here. This guy can still move around. He's not in anybody's attack zone. I could go and meet them. But if I do that, I won't be able to get his shield up, and I might regret that decision. I'm going to do it because that lets me attack twice next turn, even, or attack and raise shield. Let's see, 81. Okay, cut his head off, and then we can focus on these two. Good dodging is what I like to see. I didn't really look at his skills. We should have maybe seen like what sort of potential he had. I guess let's focus here. Because if we kill him, then we can get Ruthard up on even footing. Oh, he's too damn it. No! Broke your ribs. Crap. Well, gave him something right back. Unfortunately, again, still too fatigued. Cool, we got him. That did level you up, but we are going to need to get you treated. Okay, a little bit of food, some supplies, a spear, and a shield that we can make use of. I'll probably sell everything else. One thing I always forget to do, though, is equip that bandage when we start out. So, Werner, let's actually look. You are actually a bit of a ranger. You hate greenskins. Well, that's not really this playthrough. Yeah, he's more of like an archer, at least potentially. So that's something we should maybe factor into his build. Let's get some health. Health is always important. Fatigue is probably a good idea as well. And I guess I'll take the 4 in range skill, and we'll try to slowly build him into an archer. For now, we'll go Colossus, just because I don't want him to die. Let's go collect our pay and find a temple. I don't think there was one here, no. Was there one back there? Also no. Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll have one down here. Okay, any other jobs before we leave? No. Let's go ahead and sell these. I think we're okay on food. So, yeah, that's looking good. I'm actually going to snag that, though. Just so that both of them have a bandage of their own. Okay, moving on then. We'll go to Waldhain. I'm willing to bet that they probably don't have a temple, but Forestland might, because that's a bigger city. This might have like a taxidermist. I wouldn't be surprised if that was it, or if there was nothing. Fletcher, okay. 350, what do you want me to do? Hunt down beasts. I don't think that Werner would survive that, so let's ask for some time to think about it, and maybe we'll return if we feel confident that we can handle it later. Instead, we'll go on to Forestland and pray that there's a temple there. I wouldn't mind going back up to Donnersberg. Now that I have a bit more money, I'd like to hire that brawler that we saw. Okay, sure enough, there's a temple. Let's get you patched up. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Is there anybody here that would be worth recruiting? Not really. Rudolph the Conscript, he's not bad. Also got Fritz, he's too expensive though. Got a Bowyer. I'm reluctant to hire another, or hire a Bowyer, because the bastard that we have is potentially the same skill set. Maybe you. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. We need bodies. So we'll put you on the other side there, and I'm gonna give you the spear and the shield instead. Just because I think the spear has an increased chance to hit versus a bludgeon. It's also gonna do a little bit more consistent damage. So this has higher damage potential, but also lower damage potential. This is always going to be between 25 and 30. This could be as low as 20 or as high as 35. It ignores more armor, but is less effective against armor. So, yeah, I think this is the better setup, and he can spear wall to kind of help keep himself safe, if need be. Let's see what these jobs are. 240. What are we doing? Follow tracks, return idle. Sure, why not? Be some easy thieves to kill. Right. So we need to choose an ambition, either try to get back up to 12 men, or try to form a friendship with one of the towns. At this point, I don't know which one is going to be faster to achieve. Both are going to be something that we achieve eventually, that's not the question here, but given that in any other playthrough I would choose this one, it's kind of a given because it's just easier and a lot faster to do. But in this playthrough where we're dealing with a small elite force and starting out from a single character versus like having, you know, 4 or 3 or 4 starting characters, I think this might be easier to achieve. And I do need to be more choosy again about how I bring on, so I don't want to just hire anybody to meet that quota. So let's do this one. Alright, thieves, where did you go? I should have charged travel time as well. So we got many thugs. That might be a bit difficult for us to handle. So he's fully healthy. His armor's 100%, his health is 100%, but I do worry about his fatigue being so low. I think we need the extra body though. We'll just do our best to make sure our knight tanks as many of them as possible. So far, in my experience with this particular starting scenario, I feel like the knight should maybe be given I would say like a few extra, maybe just 1 or 2 extra levels, because at his current sort of like skill level, he really struggles to do anything with the weight of the armor that he's wearing. And that's kind of a bummer, because like while yes he is very tanky in that armor, he can only attack a few times before he's just gassed, and then, you know, eventually they'll just beat you to death because you'll get surrounded and wailed on and you can't fight back. So I do find this playthrough to be a little unfortunate in that regard. Hang in there, guys. Crap. I didn't want him surrounded. I was hoping I could plant him here and just have him like round swing a couple of them down straight away, but obviously there was no such luck for that to happen. Use your shield, man. You tanking it with your chest? What are you doing? Well, there's all his fatigue gone, just putting his shield up. Right, let's try this again. Okay, we killed 2 and nearly a third. That almost broke these 2, so I think a couple more hits will do that. And if we can break their morale, then we don't need to worry about them overwhelming us, obviously. So you're basically dead. Unless you can block both stabs from that dagger. Yeah, I didn't think so. Well, that was, like, what? 600 crowns down the drain. Nice counterattack, though. You killed him, and these guys didn't like that very much. Damn. Okay, can you finish him, please? Nice. I'd like to help out here, but I don't want this guy to get away. Let's move down here and hopefully kill him with the attack of opportunity. Oh, crap. Okay, I'm gonna have to finish him the old-fashioned way. And you recovered. Great. He's not dead, but he's gonna be permanently injured. Okay, can you get both? You got one of them. And down you go. Crap. Alright, one more try. Nope, okay. Well, at least these are quick turns. There we go. So what happened to you? A maimed foot. Alright, well, we'll collect all that. And let's go collect our pay. Back we go. So, you already had something... You were club-footed, so you build up 2 more fatigue for each tile traveled. And then the maimed foot requires that you spend 1 more action point per tile. God, so you're just like worthless in terms of movement now. Gonna have to be like a stationary crossbowman or something. Or eventually we'll just phase him out and get rid of him. But yeah, so this is what I find hardest about this playthrough, is it's very difficult to keep the people around the knight alive. The knight generally never gets hurt or even like slightly wounded, but everybody else just constantly accumulates injuries because the AI does everything they can to avoid the knight. Because the knight is so heavy and encumbered with the armor, he can't really move around on the battlefield very well. To Horn. I'll accept the contract. Oh, I meant to... fine. We're going to Horn. I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to accept the offer, but delay the actual doing of said contract and see what the other one was, but too late. So we're going to go to Horn, and maybe they'll have work for us. I think we're too broke. Actually, no, we could maybe go back to Donnersberg and see if that brawler's still there, because I actually have gear to give him. Whether it be the weapons off of our dead friend, or the armor that we collected from one of the bandits. So they do have a job. What are we doing? 390. Alfred's Watch. I'll accept, but let's head east first. And see if we can't hire somebody. Also, no, there's no temple there, because somebody Cough, cough, could really use one. Donnersberg. Alright. Is he still here? I think it was Gisbert, right? That doesn't sound like the right name, but he's basically the same character, so I'm just gonna assume that he is. Okay, so we'll hire you. Plop you over there. There's your armor, there's your shield, and there's your spear. I'd like to get you some headgear too, so let's just see if they have anything. May as well take that. And I feel like you should probably get the better armor in this case, and he can have the lesser armor. We'll sell some of this junk too. Would I rather have a hatchet or a bludgeon? I think I'll keep the hatchet, just in case we need an extra weapon for somebody. Alright, let's try to clear this place out. Okay, here we are. No idea what we're up against. So 5, that's a little bit more reasonable, but these guys are a little bit better equipped. We could try to make a break for that high ground. I don't know how viable that would be. It looks like they'll probably beat us there. Maybe not, because that rock's kind of in their way. We can try it, but that would certainly help keep them alive. Yeah, let's go for it. And we can have our knight kind of sit on the low ground and soak most of the damage. Oh, right, you can't move for crap. That might be a bit of an issue, because I need to get you up there. Well... Sure, go there, maybe that will attract their attention. It at least prevents him from getting up there, but these guys are going to take it. So what we have to try to do now is shield bash them off of it, which is obviously not ideal. Because they're going to be harder to hit, given the terrain advantage. And then they're just going to take it right back. Because we don't have enough people or initiative to get this done. 64, let's go after you. Yeah, let's get rid of him. One less person to worry about. Gotta watch that pickaxe though, that will do some armor damage. This is not ideal. I should have just stayed where we were and, you know, realized that we were never gonna outmaneuver these guys given who we have. I mean, at least the knight is just chewing through them. Oh, I wish you could get your shield up. He's probably dead at this point. Because they're just all going to go after him, and he's got virtually no armor or health left. Actually, I think I can get both of them, yeah. Nice. Okay, well at least you wounded him. And you missed on a 57. Well, if you die, it's your own fault. Like I said, his own fault. Okay, that's another one out of the way. And why don't you hop up there? Turn the tables. Okay, you want to finish him? Not going to be able to do it? Alright, we'll let Ruthard do it then. Alright, so unfortunately we lost Werner there. But given the trait that he had, you know, the club-footed trait, kind of unfortunate, and then with the permanent injury he picked up, he was probably not going to be useful long-term anyways. So not the end of the world, though I am finding Gisbert here to be pretty promising. He's a brute. Plus 15 damage on a hit to the head, so he should really have a flail. Conveniently, I have one. Because the flails are far more likely to hit the head, and they have an ability that lets you target the head, so I think it makes the most sense to give him that. Unfortunately, Werner had good armor on and lost all of it when he died. Does that have less? It does. Let's give you this then. And you level up. Okay. Fatigue. Definitely need fatigue. I think it would also be worth going in on more melee skill and melee defense. Now with perks, am I going to have him continue using a longsword? I honestly don't know, so I probably shouldn't spec into a weapon mastery yet. That doesn't seem wise, given that he might end up with a pole hammer or something, depending on, you know, just how this plays out. So what would I like to do instead? Steel brow isn't a bad idea. I'm still not sure if I want to go dodge relentless. But if he's not using a shield, that might be wise. I don't know. I'm not going to choose that now. We can do that with his next couple level ups. You guys tell me what you think. Should we go dodge relentless, or should we just admit defeat with his poor initiative? In the meantime, I think steel brow is a good idea, because having him be stunned, like we saw in that other battle, is very debilitating for us, because he's like our only real threat on the battlefield. We kind of can't afford him to, you know, be clocked in the head and be out of the fight for any amount of time. Though, wait, am I... let's see, hits to the head no longer cause critical damage, also lowers risk of... Okay, so no, that doesn't change the likelihood of getting stunned. It just makes crits to the head less debilitating. Let's see, you've got a farmhand there who's a pretty competent fighter from the looks of it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick to my old tactic. I was trying to play this a little bit differently and go with like hiring elite people right out of the gate, but honestly it doesn't seem to work. So unless I can hire somebody who's already got a couple levels, I think I'm gonna stick to people that are fairly cheap and just do my best to throw some moderate equipment on them and hope that, you know, they can survive long enough to not suck anymore. Let's see if we can't get him a little bit better armor. I was hoping that we'd get that Gambison off the one bandit, but we don't appear to have been so lucky. I'm gonna get rid of that stuff. I should maybe snag a bit of food though while we're here, and those tools are pretty good price. A pretty good price, excuse me. Nothing doing at the weaponsmith. Let's head to Donnersberg here and see if we can't get just like maybe like padded leather or something, just to get him into something decent. Please have some spare armor kicking around here. Okay, perfect. They actually have 2 Gambesons and a padded leather. So the Gambeson will be an upgrade even for Gisbert. There was even like some... I mean, we can't afford that. So, let's see. For 144, we're getting 46 and then eventually 80. For 155, we're getting 54, eventually 65. I think I'll just take this for right now. Let's try to be kind of conservative with our cash. And then I will give that to Gisbert, who has earned his place a little bit more than Radolf has. He's ailing. That doesn't really matter unless he gets poisoned. It looks like he's all about initiative and defense, though, which is good. It means he'll probably survive longer. We'll give him that armor. And we'll sell his clothing. Oh, look, a pole hammer. Anyway, that is where we'll leave it for today. So, a little bit of a rough start. We did lose 2 people already, but I think that's just how you have to sort of play this. I think everybody around the knight you just have to treat as expendable until you get to the point where you can hire people roughly on par with the knight. So, like, obviously, when we pop into town here, if we look at the recruits, there are people... I mean, Kurt's kind of useless, to be honest. He's got crap gear and doesn't look like he's that good of a fighter. But someone like Alfred, if you can afford to hire someone like that that's already got a couple levels, he's already got chainmail, those I think are the characters that you should be trying to get long term. But I think if you're not hiring these people, you just have to kind of resign yourself to knowing that they're fodder and you really shouldn't invest much in them and just assume that they're going to die. Because that sort of appears to be just how this plays out. But we'll see if we can change that. We've got 3 people. We're sort of at the point that we would be at if we did a regular start. Or maybe even, you know, a little bit beyond that, because obviously we have a level 5 character, which is more than we would normally start with. But, you know, these guys could still die at any moment. They're both level 1. They have no real skills to speak of, no perks, so they might not make it long, but I hope that they do. Anyways, let me know what you guys think, again, about how we should build our knight, because we only have, well, I mean, he's still, level 6 is sort of the midpoint, because you get 11, and so 6 is like the peak, and then, you know, you have another 5 after that. So we're not at the middle point yet. But we don't have too many more levels left with him, so we need to be very choosy about how we spend those, and we want to make sure that we make him the best character possible, because he is the centerpiece of this effort. If he dies, it's game over. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed that first episode, and you're excited for this new playthrough. If you have any other suggestions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'm going to continue doing one-off videos with the different start scenarios, just to kind of show off how they all play. I was going to do Davkul Cultist next, but unfortunately it sounds like there's a bug with them where the sacrifices never, that event never spawns, so it doesn't really change much. You just get some kind of unique gear at the beginning, and that's ultimately all that matters right now. Hopefully they get that fixed and we can do a quick run through of them too. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I had a great time playing some Battle Brothers with you, and I look forward to seeing you back here for the next episode.